Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Monday Monster Movie Watch Party, and Happy Memorial Day. We got one of the better Shoho Godzilla era movies, King Kong versus Godzilla. The first major battle for the King of the Monsters. We'll be watching the American version of this movie, which is slightly different, but I believe it's the more entertaining version. And I believe you will like this more than the less than good Legendary Pictures adaptation they made a couple years ago. We gotta be.
Hey, Jerb.
I just realized I'm on the wrong microphone.
I only got about half an hour.
Okay. How you doing?
Then I will.
Have you ever seen this version of the movie?
No.
You're stinking cute.
Hey, turn that down. Bring it here then.
She's cute. Okay.
No, this is much better than the modern version of it. There are a lot of the same type of mistakes, but they do a better job of it.
Yeah. Is this supposed to be like a slideshow?
It's not a slideshow on my end.
Oh, it is here. Can you turn it up? Can you turn it up, though?
Yeah, let's turn this up a bit.
Okay.
You're stinking cute. Ooh. Don't switch into other video games.
Yeah, this UN stuff was invented for the American version.
Okay.
The Japanese version, it's a science show.
It didn't come out.
What can you make with leftover egg?
You like slime rolling?
It's not
It's food.
Of course, the piece
Like, they're making
Can you turn it up some more?
you know they're making
All right.
really not big.
There we go.
I knew it was. I knew it was.
What can you make with
No,
leftover
it wasn't.
Hey, Mom, my cat's doing a hill. Okay. I think we might have termite.
Lord, to kill these bugs, but to live like a bug, think like a bug, become a bug.
When this is over, I have to say
Oh, I wanted the black one. Now, how do you afford such a sweet man?
share a common wall with Mike.
Do you want water? Sure. Yay, okay. Here you go. Thanks, but I don't want a straw. It's not straw. It's Fruit Loop cereal. Oh, cool. Do you have another one? I sure do. Which color do you want? Brown one. Here's sweet green because it's like a tree and a tree brown. Huh? Okay.
Huh.
Do you want water?
That's commercial.
1, 2, 3, 4,
That's weird.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 35,
That's the deal, but
100,
oh,
137, 250, 300, 350, 1.
that was cool.
Yeah, they had to change the name because the American owners didn't want them using Skull Island.
Oh,
They're more than eager to do it because by this point, Godzilla had transferred from a scary monster to be the embodiment of being nuked to a child superhero.
okay.
It's just like it did before I freeze dried it. After this applesauce, freeze dried and packaged for 2 months for around 25 years.
Oh, do you want to watch this? Oh, no. That's weird.
Animation and most accurate latest fun content. And while this Krusty Krab may be perfect, it's missing a lot of things. Well, first, let's start with the minifigure. The official SpongeBob minifigure looks great and all, but they never actually released a version of him as iconic at all, so I had to change it. To create the shaping of his hat, I took this split piece in dark blue, attached to cellular, and a 1x1 circle to top it off. To finish the look, I would scrape the Lego Simpsons house and stole their spatula. Now he looks ready for work. Kinda. I still felt like something was missing, so I dug through SpongeBob episode and found it. Squid on Strike, the perfect episode. Time to build SpongeBob's biggest sign. The simple build.
Well, who bought the damn steak?
It looks perfect. Now we copy that. You want to switch.
SpongeBob is your favorite, right? No.
What else?
It's your favorite.
I'm gonna have to get going here in a couple minutes because I gotta go
Okay.
take it home.
All right. Thanks for stopping by, girl.
Yeah, I'll stick around for a minute.
Yeah.
Don't watch this. Like, Mama, you want to watch this?
Slams into your head and finally snap forward. Then it's going backwards again. This the tiny muscles and ligaments that hold your body very stiff. And this using deep inside the soul.
Nuclear iceberg.
And it takes weeks for your body to feel its damage. If another car slams into you, you're Say hello to
turning a $3 thing into a $40 thing.
At this point, crushed to death is going to be the good option.
What you eating?
I got it.
Okay.
Poor bastards. They would have been better off crushed to death.
It's an ad.
Conveniently right where they left them, where Godzilla Raids Again ended. Very nice.
All right. We'll see you, Germ.
All right,
Have a good
thanks for stopping
stream.
by, girl.
Yep, no problem.
You may recognize this actor. He was the doctor in the first Godzilla movie. The fact they had to pay so much for the rights to King Kong, they kind of had to cut some budgets on reusing actors you may know. Hey, T.
Hey, what's going on? I thought I saw Gorilla here.
Yeah, he had to go take care of his kids.
Oh, okay. Well, what a hetero, huh? What's going on?
Not much. We're
Bring
just
me
getting
up
to
to
the first
speed
big
about
Godzilla
why
fight.
Godzilla is alive again. When last we left Godzilla, he simply split. He didn't care, right? He split.
Yeah, he just broke out of the iceberg.
Okay, yes, he was sealed in ice. So this is what? This is later that day.
This is years later.
Okay, what year is this movie? Ooh.
The movie is 62. Godzilla Raids Again was in 55, 56.
Wow, it took him a long time to make another straight up Godzilla movie, huh?
Yeah, they were shopping around the idea for quite a while. In the meantime, they had stuff like Rodan,
Godzilla Raids Again was that bad
Mothra.
too. Godzilla 1, a masterpiece. Godzilla Raids Again, not so great. Not so great.
It wasn't as good as the original. There was a sort of a boon in kaiju movies in the interim.
She's hot.
This is where Godzilla really takes the shape most people are familiar with.
Right. Well, his head's been a little bit melted looking, and he's been looking more like a scarred monster like a dinosaur than Godzilla that we know. Now he's looking more like Godzilla we know.
Yeah.
And here we see a perfect example of how flames give away the scale, right?
Yeah.
Great explosion, bad fire, for this at least. Yeah, let's put it on the King Kong channel, right? I'm not sure that's... Wow, it's Japanese King Kong adventure here.
Yep, they're just getting to Faroe Island.
We've been
And
to
that is Filipino and Gilligan on that boat.
All right, so let me see if I got this right. Okay, here. We've been to Edo Island. The next movie was Iago Island or Iado Island. And now we're going to some island that seems to have some black people on it in Japan. As
Faroe
well as
Island.
A bunch of Asian people. Faroe Island.
Yeah, they weren't allowed to use Skull Island, and they weren't eager to use Skull Island because by the 60s, Godzilla had become a child favorite. He was quickly becoming the Japanese Superman.
These people need some lessons on how to make a bell. What a terrible sound effect, huh?
Yeah, native stuff really never works that well.
Yeah, I mean, it probably didn't sound like that though. That was like, you know, two chiclets in a cup.
There's a lot of cost-cutting stuff in this because Toho paid out the nose for King Kong.
Does Kong look like absolute shit?
He looks a lot different, yes.
Does he also look like shit?
The arms are kind of ridiculous.
Oh, sit right back and you'll hear a tale.
Hey, Sis Dan.
Hello, Sis Dan. How you doing, buddy? I love how
Manda
our
is
whole
complete gibberish.
I love how their whole reason for bringing Kong into this is that we should have a monster too.
Yep. This is basically a cinematic version of a wrestling match. Which, thankfully, everyone but Akira Honda was in favor of. Honda wanted it to be a huge allegory for Japan versus America.
Did they
And
go
both
with that?
No, literally everyone else involved wanted it to be a giant wrestling match.
So what you're saying is they didn't care about their modern audience of 1961?
Nope.
It's because they're part of the
Honda had
patriarchy?
Honda had a bit of an artistic side to him, but considering how much money they had already shelled out, they wanted to have the wrestling match because everyone would love that.
I mean, I'm loving the idea of the wrestling match. I'm just saying, like, is there not room for some of these other things too, like examining the human condition through Godzilla? Like, don't you think it was a chance that we could have examined how the patriarchy affects female artists through Gojira?
Not at that price tag.
Let me tell you something. They definitely could have done it. I'm just so glad they didn't. I don't give a fuck if it was a good idea or not. This could have been the most ideal thing for studying the human condition ever through Godzilla. It's fucking Godzilla. No, don't do it. Just have fun. It is a wrestling match. No one wants Godzilla art. Although, in Godzilla -1, the artfulness of the movie is undeniable, but the thing is the stakes of the artistic part of the movie are small.
Exactly.
Right? I want to protect my ad hoc family. I think I love this woman. I know I care about this child. I have tremendous guilt. I didn't do what I was supposed to do during the war. Maybe I wasn't wrong. Maybe I still have a purpose. That was a great, but I don't know like how artistic it is to just do a good job with a human story. Like the story had the humanity that Godzilla often lacks.
Yeah. From this point on, for the next 30 years or so, it becomes a Kaiju Wrestling Federation.
Absolutely. And whatever, that's what people wanted at that time. It seemed like, as they say, it seemed like a good idea at the time, Jerm. Look, Jerm, I'm wearing my Yankee shirt.
Oh yeah.
It's all the Yankee generals. It's Lincoln and all his generals. These Yankees you like, right?
Those are the acceptable Yankees, yes.
Yeah, there you go. Who's your favorite Yankee? Sherman, Grant, Sheridan?
Sherman did some good work.
That march from the middle of like Missouri to the shores of Georgia, burning down and destroying everything along the way, really set the tone for resentment towards the North for the next 100. We still get resentment from it. When people find out that I went to William T. Sherman High School, do you know how fucking pissed they get down south?
Oh yeah, it's not very popular down there.
I don't understand how he's able to do so much damage. I've never met a Southerner who didn't claim that they had personal family damage from Sherman. But yeah, no, I'm with you on Sherman. There's something to be said, but his commander said war is hell, and then he said, I'll make it so ugly that no one will ever want to have one again. Something to be said for everything that worth doing is worth doing right, huh, Jer?
Yeah. Well, he was good at his job.
I guess that's the guy I'd want to fight for, right? You got to figure he cared about his men because his goal was end this war fast by being super mean.
He had a great war philosophy.
You agree with that, huh? She's so hot. Wow. You agree with that, huh? Oh, Dr. Arnold Johnson is in New York. His name changed really quickly. Oh, Arnold Johnson. We can't. Hey, look! It's the globalist flag. My God, this feels like Team America, doesn't it?
Yeah, this part was invented for the American release. And the Japanese release, it's framed as a science show for kids.
It is,
which
absolutely
is what the pharmaceutical
children.
guys are sponsoring and why they're after King Kong. They want him to hawk pharmaceutical goods.
Wow, you're saying that they had King Kong commercial pitchman idea before the movie from 1976.
Yep.
Wow. So the fact that there are some things that can last a really long time means that it's not surprising that Godzilla survived being frozen in ice by a series of air raids.
Yeah, this part doesn't really take into the consideration that they already saw him fight a 200-ton spiked lizard.
And Goris, the spiked lizard, we know him well. He's kind of one of the more interesting early kaijus.
Yep. He's one of the better ones. Underutilized, in my opinion.
He was a good one. He knew to use the kaiju only bathroom. He didn't try to go into other bathrooms and make people uncomfortable, right?
Well, with those spikes, anyone's going to be uncomfortable around them.
The UN newsroom. I love it. Awesome, Germ. Did you hear him talking about the frogs and how the frogs had changed their dating habits?
Yeah. But after 2 million years.
3 million. 3 million years.
Ah.
Yes. But the frogs are gay now, Germ. They're gay. And hello, everyone out there. Please hit the like and follow buttons for my pal Resolute Germ. Sit down. Sit down. Hit that like button. Sit down. Sit down. There's only one like. I know, and that was me. I know you didn't hit the like button. Sit down. You got to do this for us, buddy. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. But I trust this Dan to hit the button.
He'll get around to it. Sad about Tony. Did you see he died?
Tony died?
I'm not sure. Apparently his ex is being controlled by his own Force Ghost, talking sort of wistfully about himself as though he were dead. Yeah, the last 3 X posts sound like they were posted by his own Force Ghost.
Well, that's unfortunate.
In fact, I kind of confronted him on that one.
They wanted to film a lot of this on location in the Philippines, but
too dangerous?
Is that that and air travel prices. It's on a lot, and a lot of it is on a small island in Tokyo Bay.
Well, there is a war going on in the Philippines at this point, too. It's fairly hot. Wow! What a great prop. That doesn't look fake at all. Look at that amazing lizard, Germ. They killed that rubber lizard. That's only going to start an avalanche, of course. One of those people will obviously flee into quicksand. This is one of those kind of movies, right?
Sort of, but no quicksand.
You know what, Germ?
Just
Be unimaginative.
45-meter tall angry gorilla.
I think someone ran into quicksand off frame. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have to follow their adventure. The person who ended up in the quicksand.
Yeah, they won't be that important.
Someone also ran off the edge of a cliff and didn't fall until they looked down. Everything happened.
Yeah.
Japanese people have a really strange concept of the American tone of voice and accent, don't they? At least the ones who dubbed this movie.
Yeah. Oh, you missed the worst part about the dubbing. You have two American guys in a helicopter, obviously speaking English. They dub it over for the Japanese version. But instead of using the English that they talked for the American version,
they
dub over the Japanese version with two completely new voices.
Oh, they really don't match the face, and the lip movements are bad.
Not even close.
What a weird island of losers. Is that Slugra? I'm sorry, but this is the kaiju I'm least afraid of. Like, what do we need? Salt?
That is literally just the octopus they got from a bunch of fishermen.
Octopyricus. Is it Giganticus? Or is it huge? Or is it...
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
Okay.
He's after the berry juice. They all love the berry juice.
It's about... I love this movie. It's like the least woke thing I've ever seen, bro.
Yeah, it is one of the better ones.
He's saying giant octopus like we all see him every day. So they're just going to kill this poor octopus for the movie?
Oh, yeah. After the octopus has done his acting job, they fried him up.
Whoa! He got that guy. The poor bastard, Germ. What do? Do you mercy kill the guy, or do you keep shooting at the octopus? Oh, let him go. Why didn't he try to hit him in the air with a shot? His boomstick is
complicated for their budget.
Wouldn't you try to get behind it and shoot it in where we all know its brain is with your boomstick? Call me crazy, right?
This is a bit of a technical downfall.
I think it's awesome.
They couldn't use a blue screen here, so they're just throwing props at a wall and didn't having another projection.
I think they had a octopus climb down the outside of a glass fish tank and then ran the other movie behind it or something.
Something like that.
Don't they realize that their bang sticks aren't going to hurt this fucking thing? Like you would need like strafing. We're talking strafing runs to deal with this thing.
Well, they're sort of in a panic. They're basically just buying time for the gorilla to realize that someone's trying to steal his hooch.
So this is why King Kong eats the octopus in Skull Island. He has like the giant shrimp enemy.
Yeah, everyone's always trying to steal his stuff.
He looks like shit. He sucks, bro. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, they had to change
Alien.
his face. They based him more off of, I think they called it a capuchin, some popular Japanese monkey, because the American owners forbid them from making it recognizable to the American King Kong.
Smart move.
The production
This
of this
King
movie was really a clusterfuck.
Remember, when this movie came out, King Kong's being re-released a lot.
Oh, that's still like 15 years after this. It was remade in 76.
No, I'm not talking about the remake. I'm saying King Kong 33. Or is it 36? It got re-released a lot, bro. 25 years, 30 years, 35 years, 40. Like,
Yeah.
this movie made money a lot, the first King Kong. Remember, no one could do much better than it for the longest time, and it was the OG kaiju movie.
Yeah. This is the sequel, because originally the creator of King Kong was trying to get a claymation sequel made. Then his manager or production company behind his back, since they couldn't get anything made for an American studio, they started shopping the idea to foreign studios. And after Toho signed on,
And it took 25 freaking years.
it probably would have, but
Well,
he kind of had
36
a
to
heart attack.
61. Oh!
He was hugely pissed off, but during the legal battle, he dropped dead.
So basically, they won the same way Anna Nicole Smith won.
Yep. Yeah, get the monkey drunk and sing him to sleep.
It's weird that, like, okay, he doesn't resemble traditional Kong, but he also looks like shit.
Out of this whole lot, one paid actress. Everyone else they got from an art school. She's the only pro out of the entire bunch. Everyone else there is literally there for school credit.
So basically, they're all Laker girls or the Knicks City Dancers.
Yeah, they went to a local art school, and said, "Hey, you want to be background in a movie?"
And like the one person to get paid was like the dance choreographer.
That main girl is actually established star.
I'm gonna guess she also came up with the dancing. You know what I mean? That's probably what she was known for. Just guessing.
Yeah, dancing was one of her big things. Not really. You guys interrupted his nice little luxury lifestyle, getting fed berry juice and worshipped.
Yeah, nothing you've said is true. Like they knew about Kong. This guy has imagined a lot of stuff out of nowhere, huh, Jerm?
Yeah. His long sleep of about 5 years.
Unless they're saying he didn't do much exploring in his 2 weeks of being alive and destroying stuff 6 years ago, because there's a short reign of terror. I will say this: I don't know how much the very bottom of the ocean's changed. You know.
I imagine not a lot. Thankfully, this part not canon to the movie. It makes a lot more sense in the Japanese version because it doesn't happen. Yeah, all decked out for a safari. And he missed the island entirely. At least he has a funny mustache. And of course, the Navy is going to stop him. It was sort of stupid to think you can smuggle a about 120-foot gorilla into the country. That'd be a hell of a zoo exhibit.
I suppose it's a lot like flying over Monster Island going to a zoo, right?
Oh yeah, they practically have tours in later movies.
Yeah, when is Monster Island Reserve established? Monster Containment Act of 1963?
I believe it's by the 70s. They start getting a theme park type ideas in Mechagodzilla.
Here's the thing, I was around in the 70s, those movies were already old.
Hey, first good look at modern Godzilla. They enhanced the spikes on his back. His eyes are more portioned off to the side. And he has big white claws now. Oh, she missed the last truck out.
Just like a woman. Went back to get her makeup, right?
Yeah, it's always something.
She had 2 keys of cocaine and a 9mm Glock. They changed their mind quick, huh?
It was he care if the guy wants to go commit suicide.
I know, he was way too into it. Godzilla destroys a lot of HO scale trains.
Yeah, I think he has personal offense to him.
You know how he got these scars, Germ? What a scumbag.
Eh, well, he doesn't want to ride now, does he? Why did she get off of the main road? She is literally running toward the lizard.
All I care about is that she's wearing a white dress and it's now wet. Can she take off her scarf? I don't know if Hoshi's okay, Germ.
Oh, how nice for them. The monkey's waking up. At this point, King Kong has been passed out drunk for a good week and a half now. And they wired it wrong. That's always inconvenient. The first swimming gorilla. He's the Japanese Don King. Yeah, this is where King Kong really looks bad. They have about 2-foot long poles at the end of his arms because they thought they wanted him to look more like an orangutan. He's never seen fire before.
Wait, like he breathes radioactive. Oh, Kong's never seen fire, huh?
Yeah, Kong's entire life has been on that island and did that short little boat ride.
Well, they have that. They have fire on the island.
Yeah, but from his point of view, it's a tiny little spark being waved around by those little annoying things that make his berry juice.
Berry juice. I don't know. There's never been a forest fire there. Godzilla's roar is weak and different, bro.
Yeah, they're still perfecting it.
It's taken a step back in this movie. I like how what's supposed to establish that this is a very scientific place is the phone. They have a pretty good phone. They must be real. They must be for real. Why do they have a map of southern Florida? That still leaves them with one monster.
They're not really worried about the gorilla at this point. If all else fails, they can get 4 or 5 tankers full of bananas and just lure them out to sea.
So, you know, Jeremy, I remember watching this sequence as a kid on the 4:30 movie here in New York.
Oh yeah, this sequence is a Godzilla staple.
The 4:30 movie in New York started at 4:30 and ended at 5. It took like 3 weeks to show a movie. And I think the most audacious thing about it is that it had a commercial break. It was a 4.5 minute chunk of a movie.
Wow.
In the old days of TV, they didn't give a fuck, you know? They would show Planet of the Apes for 4 weeks. I think it's good that they're building a batting cage. It's going to increase morale, right?
Yeah.
Caltex, the same gas company from Godzilla 1.
Yeah.
They have been in this fight since day one, Germ. This is a very patriotic group of people. They're in the poison gas and gasoline business. God, remember when your cell phone was like that?
Yeah, the 80s were a hell of a time.
Those guys must have done something fucked up to get that job.
Caltex is actually the largest petroleum company in South Asia.
By the way, Germ, some people burn bridges. The makers of this movie burn rivers.
Easier to do when the river's made out of gasoline.
I mean, that's a technicality, but yeah, I mean, we used to have resources like that, but you know, poor forest management lost us a lot of that gasoline, Germ.
Yeah. Well, we all can't burn rivers naturally like Chicago does. Or Cleveland.
I was going to say Cleveland burned a lake. They burned a lake, but good enough, right?
Yeah.
He's a monster who does whatever the hell he wants. How do they know what's possible?
They have to explain away certain aspects of the movie.
She's
And
hot.
they have no reason why King Kong is attracted to electricity.
It's because he was Frankenstein. You know, my headcanon is that he's a Nokia King Kong. And that when you charge him up, you can play Snake. So when he gets on the charger, he's just, he goes up to 4 bars, and that's when he's at his strongest. What do you think of that one?
That's as good an explanation as any.
Great cause and effect there, huh, Chair?
Yeah. It's working for now. He's just trying to figure out what the hell he ran into. It took King Kong a little while, but he finally figured out that whole fire stuff. Now he's ready for round 2.
He's got a Batman-like aspect where the first attack doesn't really work out, but he learns.
Yeah. Yeah, and for no particular reason, he is snacking on the electrical wire.
Agree or disagree? Level of authenticity, believability, and representation. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It looks like the Bumble. About as good.
Yeah, it looks a lot like the Bumble. Yeah, they just got that thing built back maybe 5 years ago.
And then rebuilt it back again like 4 years after that because Godzilla destroyed it.
Yeah.
Or at least part of it, right? Oh, wait, no, he destroyed a northern city, didn't he?
That was the last one. The first one,
Yeah.
he got Tokyo.
Then Hokkaido. How many cities must suffer before they take out Gojira?
Well, eventually they do figure out to give him his own real estate on Monster Island.
Is his biggest victim the female lead of the 1997 Roland Emmerich misnamed Godzilla movie?
Yeah, probably.
We never see her again. Ever. Anywhere. Doing anything ever.
Be fair, she didn't have talent.
She sucked. How'd she get in that movie? Raleigh's gay.
Well,
As far as I heard,
Ferris
at least I thought he was.
Bueller was probably a little bit onto that.
He was
had a little
married
bit
to
of pull in
freaking
that.
Sex in the City.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he didn't enjoy giving away co-star spots for a little bit of favors.
Him and her's rumor are that they don't dig each other and that they don't dig the opposite sex. Him and her's rumors is a mutual pact not to be exposed as gay. That's the rumor. And it kind of makes a little bit of sense for both of them when you kind of think it over, you know, especially Matthew Broderick.
The stuff I heard about Matthew Broderick was horrible womanizing.
I didn't hear that. I heard drunk, right? And also I heard you know, connected to Helen Hunt, who's gay, who everyone assumes is gay because the only person she was ever connected to romantically was Hank Azaria, who is another person. Like, everybody's on the bubble of not really believably straight. You know, you get where I'm coming from on this one.
Yeah.
Do you think Demi Moore is really dating Andrew Garfield?
I wouldn't see how he would. Andrew Garfield is like 30 years younger than her. At this point, she's just all dried up.
Yeah, he's a really young-looking 40, and not very traditionally, but does kind of look 63, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, underneath the 4 facelifts and the
right
other unfortunate.
That's the part that makes her look 63. She's in a bathing suit at one point in the episode of Landman I saw, and they're just like talking about how beautiful and how desirable she is, and then they cut away to Liz from 1923 as Ainsley in her bikini, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
Poor Kong. He's used to climbing the Empire State Building, but Japan skyline isn't quite as impressive.
You istophobe. And hello out there in Kaiju Monsterland. Please hit the like and follow button for my buddy Resolute Germ. We need to get to 5 likes. If not, well, Germ, tell people what's going to happen if we don't get to 5 likes.
Oh, I don't like to think about it.
Listen, if you guys get us up to 5 likes, what will happen is Germ and I will leave $400,000 in unmarked bills behind the billboard at the old airport, and you can have it. Just get us to 5 likes. Germ, am I right?
Yeah.
Whoever gets there first can
which
have the
old
money.
airport may
The
vary?
one by you. Idlewild by me. And we'll leave half by me and half by you.
Get the monkey drunk and sing him to sleep again.
Watch the monkey get hurt. You know, when Kong Island sends us their choirs, they're not sending their best anymore, are they?
It's actually the main track for the movie. In the Japanese version, this is the title sequence song.
He is so bumble looking right here. Nobody thought to loop it, right?
Well, the chanting's on a loop recording, but he has to play the drums too.
He has to play the drums live because it's just there's no replicating that. Kong is like a pure musical fan.
He's a very picky ape.
Big Stones fan, I heard.
Yeah.
Fuck Miko? Great name. It's onomatopoeia, Germ.
Well, at least they figured out the atomic bomb is just going to make Godzilla even bigger and more angry.
They need an oxygen destroyer. We've been over this so many times. Until you get the oxygen destroyer, you've really got nothing on Godzilla, right?
Yeah, it's the only thing that ever really worked.
Even in Godzilla -1, it was something else and an oxygen destruction thing, right?
Yeah, I do believe so.
It was changes in pressure while destroying the oxygen, right? Send them all the way to the bottom, send them all the way to the top, send them all the way to the bottom, all the way to the top, while messing with the oxygen the whole time so he couldn't breathe. And changing the pressure radically, left like up and down. Till he
That
explodes.
was in -1. The original
Yes.
is just Oxygen Destroyer.
Right. They needed a new twist. What I'm saying is that without an oxygen destroyer aspect to Godzilla's destruction, it's just a waste of time. Look what happened last movie. All we did was freeze him. No oxygen destruction at all. Wow. I wouldn't want to be one of those guys who had to put the ropes over Kong. You'd think that they would have something to fire it with, like, you know?
Yeah, he is proven to be a rather angry drunk.
Well, one shot and he's out. He can't hold it.
Yeah. And this thread comes back into play from earlier.
So what's the deal? They're really into Pink Floyd? They want flying animals?
Yeah, I guess so.
I remember when they flew Kong over our city during COVID. Make everyone feel better? What kaiju did you guys get flown over your city?
We don't get kaiju on the West Coast. It's a downside of being out here.
That's strange, because you're on the Pacific Ocean and we're on the Atlantic, but we get more kaijus. We got Godzilla somehow. Albeit an identity confused Godzilla Godzilla adjacent. Wow, that is just the worst guy in a gorilla suit. That was just constructed with like planks of wood inside the Godzilla suit, the monkey suit. What are they're gonna drop him into a volcano?
Nope, they're gonna drop him in front of Godzilla and hope they fight to death.
They've got a high chance of being correct. Hey, look, it's Gojira. He knows Godzilla.
And he has to scratch his ass as he gets up. I don't imagine running up that hill in that costume was fairly easy. Yeah, he has the tail. Nice skull shot.
What we found out about Kong is you can stun him for a moment pretty easily.
Yeah. He's easily shocked, but he recovers quick.
The atomic breath really is not much more than an inconvenience for Kong.
Oh no, all that hair is covered in asbestos.
You mean lead?
That too. Poor monkey concussed himself. Now he's just insulting him.
Ah, that was good playing possum, Kong. You got him. Kong has a kind of a rope-a-dope fashion, huh?
Yeah. That's one of the only few claymation shops they have. Unfortunately, they couldn't just get that guy to have quite the height they wanted on the kick in the costume without hurting himself severely.
They tried and they killed 4 or 5 stuntmen, and then they finally had to relent and build the claymation. Oof, oof, oof. He's just humiliating him now, Germ. That's basically the kaiju equivalent of the steel chair across the face. Am I right?
Yeah.
They're so sure that Kong is going to be struck by lightning.
Yeah.
Is he just a magnet? Is that the deal?
Either that or he's related to Magneto.
Or Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Or Palpatine.
Yeah, he has the Force lightning down.
Unlimited power!
All that model destruction.
This has got to be really bothering our friend Sean, huh?
He might appreciate the classic nature of it.
But I mean, just to see the models destroyed like that, right? I think a little part of his soul would be hurt.
Maybe a little.
Crying for the model maker. Is there a monument to the model makers whose efforts went into these destroyed buildings somewhere?
I'm sure they got plenty of money. Toho was the main consumer of models.
They owned a factory that made models of small factories.
They needed their own. And they're both into drink.
Breaking YouTube news: Critical Drinker just got his next Last of Us video on copyright claimed by the HBO people. It's a shame to see, but this is why people make dioramas, right, Germ?
Yeah.
It's got to be bittersweet being a diorama constructor, knowing that it will all be destroyed. But actually, the beauty of the diorama is in its destruction. So, I don't know. You tell me, Germ.
Oh, half the fun of it is destroying it.
Why wouldn't he swim from the neck like a lizard? Oh, it's Kong. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he has 3,000 miles to swim.
I don't help the motherfucker out at all, right? He was supposed to be in the Bermuda Triangle in the first movie.
And that's the movie. King Kong is your winner.
Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. Good movie.
Yep. Started a lot of the trends for Godzilla. His shape is coming into focus. By the next movie, he's pretty much the Godzilla we all know.
This movie featured for the first time really emphasizing the tail. We really emphasized that tail.
Oh yeah, they got a lot more control over it. They have something internal they can use to move it around more. Before it was all on a wire.
Good stuff, Germ. Wow. What will Godzilla do next?
Well, he has another major crossover. He fights Mothra.
Ooh. It's because the Earth is hollow, right?
Is actually the year that they have two Godzilla movies come out. 1964, they had Mothra versus Godzilla, and Ghidorah, the three-headed monster.
Wow. Were they combined into one movie at any point, or are there two distinct films?
Two distinct films.
Made by different studios, or was one delayed in its American release? Is that we both see them both in the same year, or they made them both the same year?
Made them both the same year, both from Toho.
Wow, they're really just working hard on their Godzilla project.
Oh, yeah, they realized who the Golden Goose was by that point.
Way to go.
What you got coming up, Teague?
What's today? Monday?
Yeah.
I guess tomorrow at 3 we'll have Teague's Intense Talk Show. I will have is it streaming for Vengeance anymore? If there's no one to stream against, does it go back to being Teague's Intense Talk Show? I don't know. I'll be on live tomorrow at 3, streaming for Vengeance. What the hell? And we'll see what goes on with that, and then I'll be back Thursday night around 10.
Sounds good. We'll be back on this channel Wednesday for the return of Nerd Night Roundtable, and then this Saturday we have The New Adventures of Mighty Mouse.
Ooh.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Hit that like and follow button. Bye.